was the start.
Yeah, Julio and the I Am Legacy, I think that's the man. Because
you think you were attracted to them because like they're trying to help out the Hispanic community, or just because of like their mindset and framing?
both.
Okay.
I think both. I don't know if you know.
If you could pull up the mic a little bit.
I don't know if you know Audie.
Adi?
Audi?
Oh, yeah,
Audi?
the videographer.
Editor, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good right here?
Yeah, that's fine.
He was the first one that invited me to the first event that I went.
Did you already have your business?
I had my business since 2017. So
really?
like, I had my business for a long time. And he texted me one day. He's like, hey, there is an event for investors. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. Mm-hmm. And because I've been investing for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Because
like, you know, that was the steps. I don't know if you ever read Poor Dad, Rich Dad.
I did read.
It's the best book.
Though I kind of saw Robert Kiyosaki as kind of like he went down a path of like more as a propaganda type of guy.
He is.
Which most guys end up being. And that's why I kind of start on following them.
Yes.
And I have a hard time. But I did understand, or the concept that I got from that one was that assets, liabilities, and stuff like that. Look, give me a second. It's dark in here. I was like, why is it dark in here? This light is supposed to be facing.
But the one thing that helped me the most in that book is when he explained the quadruple. I don't know if you say it like that, but it's like you become an employee, and then from an employee you jump as a self-employed. And I think those two are the hardest one, because like when you self-employed, you are your own boss, and you have to like make the calls, and most of us have no experience, no prior experience. Like my father's a doctor, my mom is a teacher that my whole life worked for the government. So I never saw entrepreneurial in my life. I never ever saw that. So I learned everything through YouTube. Well, I went on business school, but you figure out the schooling system, it only teaches you to become an employee.
Okay.
So I was a great employee. After I left the military, example, like I was working with this developer, and the reason why most veterans are peak at like getting pulled out to get a job is because they are great following orders. Every single military person that you know, you tell them a task, and they will make it happen because it gets in us.
So they're great executors.
Great executors. Is one thing that you learn from the military is discipline, camaraderie, like teamwork, resilience. And I think that's like one of the greatest things that you can have as an entrepreneur is to be resilient.
But being an entrepreneur, I think that you have to be a very, very great leader and very adaptable.
And the leadership skills is in the military.
Okay.
That's like one of the things that they teach you to become from a private or a specialist to jump to become a sergeant. You go to like a leadership course.
Did you ever kind of like find did you think that you were going to go down that military path or?
No, I never thought. I came to the US in 2007.
Okay.
And I was working doing finisher deliveries in New York. Terrible job. Like you have to do 5-floor walk-ups all the time. Like it's a heavy and like it's a very like bad job, but I was making good money, so I was doing it, and I was like fresh out of the boat, you know, didn't even know that much English. I knew a little bit, but when you get here, that's when you figure out you don't know nothing.
Okay.
Because like, you know, people with accent talk to you and you're like, man, I had no idea what this person told me. You're just like, yeah. So from there I jumped into the military. Like that's when 2008 hit and there was no jobs. Like I got laid off in 2009. And at that time there was no jobs anywhere. Like the same amount of money I was making before. And back then an uncle of my ex-wife, at the time she was my wife, he told me, he said, you should join the military. You have no idea how offensive I took that. I found it like really offensive. Like
why?
Because back then I thought the military was like not even close to be in my radar. Not even close.
Okay.
But 6 months after looking jobs everywhere, sending resume everywhere, finding no leads, one day I woke up depressed as hell, and I went on military.com and I pulled my information, and like 30 minutes later, Army recruiter contacted me, and I went and I did all the paperwork. I passed the ASVAB test. I failed the first time. I failed it.
Did that kind of unmotivate you to do it again?
It did, but he gave me all the information that I could research and stuff like that. And one thing that I can tell you about myself, I'm the kind of person who will figure it out. Like I can figure some stuff out. Like if it motivate me, if it interests me, I'll figure it out. So I went and I took 2 weeks just reading every day. I went on the library because back then there was not so much Google and stuff. This is 2009. And I went to the library and got me ASVAB for Dummies.
I love those books.
Those are the best books.
Yes.
And I just started reading that, went online, researching, and literally took the test again. And I got above like most people. Like I got offered so many jobs that it was like incredible. And the one job that offered me the most bonus was the one that I took.
Okay.
I was in for the money.
It
was basically, and I became a fuel handler. That was like the title of the job. But then when you go into the military, it's always about training. You have to be training 24/7 to become a better person, because it's all about a point system. The most point you have across your peers, the better, you know?
That allows you to go into
Excel
new ranks.
more, get better ranks. You get picked to do other things because they see it's all about physical. You know, you have to do the 2-minute push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, and the 2-mile run. And the higher level you get, the better you are. That's one section. The other section is education, and the other section is military education. So you go, and by the time I went to Iraq, I saw a lot of guys that were in the military for a long period of time, and they didn't go up in rank. And I don't know where I got this from.
Conformity in a lot of people, even in places where you think that there would be a lot of competitiveness.
And it's a lot of alpha dudes. Like everybody's an alpha, but there's a lot of people that just get comfort zone. And they just like there, and they know their jobs and they just go with it. But in me, it was like, man, I cannot be alone, because the time that I got to Iraq, I was in for 2 months. I went to Iraq right away. I was a private. I was the lowest rank in my unit back over there.
Yeah.
So I asked one of my sergeants, I was like, what is the best way to go up? And he was like, civilian education. So right there, I went and downloaded every single software that they have in the military with civilian education. And I just went taking tests. I was just taking every single test and passing them.
But see, I could see something there, though. Like, not a lot of people would be willing to ask, or not a lot of people are even interested in trying to ask.
But so many times I ask myself, what is it inside of me that wanna excel?
Yeah.
And I really don't know, and I think I got it from my father, or, you know, the lack of resources, probably, like that I feel that I have, that I think I want more.
As a kid, did you think that you have that time drive, or no?
No. I think it got to the point where, like, I got older and I wanted fresh clothes, or you know, and I have 3 more brothers. I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
So imagine, like, when my parents, and we were not like dirt poor. We were probably like middle class, upper middle class, let's say. But the time that we needed clothes, my parents had to buy 4 sets of everything. So I never had like 3 to 4 pairs of shoes. I probably had like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then it trickled down, where like my brothers get whatever, you know, I was growing and they get the leftovers, and they were better. Like my younger brothers, like they had it way better than me and my second brother.
As the oldest brother, you know, you're always with that pressure of having to be the example. And you're the test dummy too for everything.
It's a responsibility that I never asked for.
Absolutely.
You had no idea how many times my parents were like, "You're the responsible one here," and I'm like, "I'm 12." You know, like, but that.
Are you grateful for that?
Oh yes. Because it created a leadership skill. I was forced to it. You know, like it was not like I wanted to be the older son.
Yeah.
I never wanted that. But I think, of course, I'm grateful. So many times I'm like, damn, like I wish I was the youngest one, because my younger brother, he had it way easier than me. Way easier.
But then ease or not going through hardship makes your life to where you don't even understand what's good or bad, I think. And that's why you can get lost in the way.
For sure, yeah. Like, brother, I've been lost for a long time. Because also, like, when in Iraq, when I came back from Iraq, that's when I found that I had PTSD.
Okay.
I never dealt with stress before in my life. Like I told you, like I was, you know, I grew up pretty okay, you know, like there was no like stress for food, shelter, or, you know, water. There's the, you know, the things that you need the most. But the hardship that I experienced in Iraq or in the military period, it kind of like switched the whole mindset.
How long were you in the military for?
5 years.
5 years.
And I did 9 months in Iraq.
Okay.
But we did a bunch of trainings in Germany. I went to the swamps of Louisiana, where the mosquitoes are huge. Like, because they teach you like how to survive in every environment. Mm-hmm. We went to like New York just to do like cold weather training. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you go to California to do desert training. The one that I told you in Louisiana was like swamp training. Here in North Carolina, I forgot the name of the post. They teach you like parachuting and all this stuff. So like it's basically every base. The base that I was in, it was in artillery. So we were always blowing stuff up. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
As a guy, I can tell you that sounds fun.
We were just like blowing like, you know, motors, automatic weapons, just like boo, 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 boo. Like if you have you ever shot?
I've shot a gun before, but not automatic guns.
We had to go to the range.
Yeah,
we had to go to the range for sure. But yeah, like
when you came back, you said you were going through PTSD.
Yes. You know what PTSD is?
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
I actually started because I'm not downplaying it, or I'm not downplaying depression, mm-hmm. but since it's so relevant in today's society, I do like to study on it, or mm-hmm. Because we're gonna be exposed to it, our kids are gonna be exposed to it. So what is it that we can do to get better? Is it to confront it? Because I was listening to a psychologist that today's therapists, there's no ending to how much therapy they give out to kids, or they give out to PTSD survivors, and that's what causes even like a longer recovery time, because they don't have any type of ending. Because let's say you and me talk about only depression, mm-hmm. we're obviously going to get depressed because that's all we're talking about. Yeah. So I'm curious to know how you cope with that. Did you get over it? Do you suppress it?
Well, the first thing when it comes to the military, they want to peel you over. So the moment they know you have depression or anxiety, they will prescribe you a medication.
How do you feel about that?
Terrible. That's like the worst thing that you can do, because it's like you suppress it. You basically numb yourself out, where in all reality, like what you should do is counseling, like talk about it, like and understand that not everybody's the same. Not every person is the same, because The one thing, and this I learned recently, and it kind of like stuck with me. Life is like a poker game. Have you ever played poker?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gets 2 cards, right?
Yes.
You get your 2 cards and you look at it. You don't know if your cards are gonna be good or bad till you look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you might have a pocket ace, 2 aces, right? And you think that you have a winning hand, right?
Because
so
that's normally that's.
Let's go that you became into a wealthy family and you are rich as hell. You have all the assets, all the money in the world. So you were born with a pocket ace. Then you have another person that can have like a 7-9. It's not a good hand, but you don't know if it's a good or a bad hand till like they flop the river. Mm-hmm. And then that's why I believe that's life. There are some people that are born with better skills and they were just naturally born with that skills. Or people, like example, I'm 6'4". It was natural, like it was genetics. I didn't ask to be 6'4". And you have no idea how many people be like, man, if I was 6'4", I'll be in the NBA. And I'm like, no, you won't. Because Steph Curry is 6'4", and you know how short he look in front of everybody in the NBA? Because the people have the mentality that, oh, if I was you, I would do better.
Why do you think that is?
Because we mirror each other. The whole thing in life is being a mirror. You are a mirror of like everything that is around you, the people that you hang out with, your environment, and you always try to see why I'm not good enough and this person is better than me or worse than me, because like that's the ego as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I got to. Yeah.
Where I'm better than you because such and such and such.
I don't know. Are you a religious person?
I was not at all for a long time. Okay. I grew up in a Catholic household, and I always believed that they created God to control humans.
Okay.
And since I was little, like I never believed in the Catholic Church because I just didn't believe. And throughout my life, and I believe like after I came to the U.S. or like after I joined the military, I lost faith for a long period of time. Because
of the hardships you had gone through? Or why did you question it?
Nietzsche say God is dead and we kill him.
But also Einstein said that it is a stupid thought to think that we are here for no reason.
Exactly.
Too.
No, and then that's what I'm saying. I was not a non-believer. And I went through a process of ayahuasca.
Oh, you did that too?
And that's how I ended up believing in God again. That was the turning point where God came to me and like he said, I'm here, Mark. Okay. So that after that, man, you have no idea. And I don't want to I would never advise anybody to do it. Never. I did it. Responsibility to myself. Nobody brought me there. Like I just did it because I wanted to do it. Because in a Joe Rogan podcast, I heard about it. And this guy named Dane Cook, I think, he mentioned a bunch of veterans were being treated for PTSD through psychedelics. Mm-hmm. And that's LSD, can be shrooms, or the highest level is ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca is also considered it's psychedelic.
It
is it the same thing as like peyote?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. I think peyote is also another one.
Okay.
Ayahuasca is like the highest one. It's DMT, straight up DMT.
Okay.
And
what happened to those veterans?
You get better.
You'd get better?
Well, 1,000%.
But I'm curious though, because I'm reading this book. It's called Las Enseñanzas de Don Juan by Gabriel Castañeda. Mm-hmm. And it's an Indian showing, I think an American or Gabriel Castañeda writes down his experiences. And when you're doing that, you're feeling the energy around you. You're not perceiving things by sight, but you're perceiving them through color.
Yes.
Through other realms.
Yes.
If you're in a bad state of mind, you could also condemn yourself, could you not?
You could, and I think that's why doing ayahuasca is a way better experience than doing probably like LSD or shrooms, because like example, me and you can just like come here, take some shrooms and trip out and like ha ha ha, like, and then or have a bad trip, because it all depends of how you feeling at the moment, right?
Okay.
But with ayahuasca, and I did it with some shaman from South America, like these are people that guide you, you know, like, and it's like probably like the time that I did it probably was like 12 of us and 4 shamans, and they were like playing instrument, guiding you, and I think that's the best one because you're not by yourself.
Okay.
Yes. You are guided to do things.
But why did you take that trip? Was there something that was weighing you down?
Can I give you an example? Mm-hmm. So example, like I could be in my office, and this is like after I went to like a bad episode. We started the company in 2017, and by 2018 I was burnt out. Like I was burnt out where a lot of negative self-talk. I was like going through a bad path. Like I thought everything was bad at all time. I thought like things were not working out, even though they work, but myself was telling me that something bad was going to happen. And I think that comes from the PTSD, because in the military, they teach you expect the worst, hoping for the best. So you always expecting the worst. You always looking at things to go south.
Okay.
That's an awareness. You two have to be aware of everything, right? Mm-hmm. And that works while you're in the military. But when you get out of the military, you don't need that anymore. But how can you take that away from me? How can you take that away from me? That I have to be aware of everything. I know the X is over there. I know there's a window here. I know like in other times in my life, I could never be behind, you know, like the door behind me. I had to be in that chair where I can see the door. That's one example. Another example, I could be in my office and I hear in the warehouse a pallet drop. Boom! And I'll be just jumping out of that. Or the forklift driving like fast and I'll hear, whoa! And I'll be just jumping and then go. And it's just not like 1 to 2 minutes. Like I go like long periods of time just like telling myself, no, everything is fine, nothing is going wrong, you know. So like, and imagine dealing with this every day.
I can only imagine, because it's like you're in your head and there's no way to get out.
No way to get out.
It's like a mental jail.
It is probably like the worst experience somebody can have. And that's why so many veterans are like people that go to war become suicidal.
But alongside with that, you also had negative thoughts in itself that something was going to happen in the business that was going to make you fail?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. And that's what I'm saying. Like in 2018, I went to like a downfall. And I have to thank my family. I think if I didn't come from the family that I came from, I'd probably be like a bum in the street begging for money.
In what way, though? Like, did they support you?
At that time, I went to Dominican Republic. Also, my business partner is my brother. So he also understands what I'm going through, right? It's not the same if I had like another business partner where like he's like, dude, like what the hell's going on with you? My brother also know that I'm going through this, and in a way he supported, right?
Because he was inside the business? Or
yeah, he's my business partner, right? So like at this time, you know, we started this and he know that I had that in my mind, right? And by this time I went to Dominican Republic because I told you, like, if I go to the VA, all they're going to give me is more medication.
Okay.
They're just going to give me pills and they're going to tell me, come in 3 weeks to tell me how it went. And that's like the worst, because in those 3 weeks, you don't know what's going to happen. Those pills can take your hunger away, or they can like not make you sleepy or make you too sleepy. They can have your stomach all messed up, or a bunch of side effects. Like those medications, they call it SSRIs. They have like, I'm not saying that taking medication is bad, because for some people it helps.
Yes.
To me, it never helped. It was always something that I did not like about that type of medication, so I have to go to another one.
And a lot of these medications are treating symptoms, and they're not treating
the source.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not treating the source. So it's like, and that's what I'm saying. They numbing you to just deal with it. They're not fixing the problem. They just numbing you, and you just go with the flow, go with life.
You went to DR to find a more holistic way of healing yourself, or more for just freeing your mind of the burnout that you faced that year?
No, I went because I needed help, and my father took me to one of his friends. He's a psychiatric guy, and I went to like a 4-day cleansing. Like they put an IV on me, and I go to sleep, and they'll take me to my house, just because I was, the son of a doctor. Like, my father would take care of me in the house. If not, I would have been inside the hospital for those 4 days, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to be like hospitalized. Okay. But that it kind of did like a reset on my mind, and it worked for a while. But then
reset in what way? Like, did you clear up your thoughts a little bit?
Yes. Okay. Because those are like hard drugs. Like the one that like the psychiatrics, and the one that I took at that moment, those are like the highest of the highs. My brother, my youngest brother, he's a doctor as well, and he was looking at the medication. He's like, dude, like, you're gonna put all that? And the doctor told my brother, can you leave? He kicked him out. He's like, you have to go. You cannot be here.
Man.
Because it was like strong stuff. And then by then I came back, and I was okay for a while. And
a while meant how long?
Probably like a year or so. But then everything comes back. Everything comes back, and that's when, I was looking for other stuff to do, and I ended up looking at ayahuasca, and
it helped a lot.
Like, incredible.
After that, so this was pretty recent, fairly recent.
2021.
Okay. After that, what turned in your mind?
Love.
Huh. What?
Yeah, that's the cure.
Love.
Because it's something that I experienced with ayahuasca, and I think that was probably like I felt a love that I never felt in my life. It was a representation of a mother. They call her the Mama Chang, Mama Papa. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but you see it. You see this lovingly mother creature. They call it Mother Earth.
Is it light? Is it energy? Is it warm?
It's just a feeling of warmth. Yes, it's a feeling of love, of like love that till today I never felt some type of love like that. And this person or entity was telling me that everything was gonna be fine, and at some point, it's a long trip. It's a long trip, but that's the one that I can tell you the most. And then you see a bunch of stuff, and it's crazy because like everybody see almost the same. Like if you find somebody else that did it too, and I tell him, oh, I saw a monkey with a banana, they were like, oh, I saw that too. Or I saw some native guy with like the feather, they'll say it too. And then the one thing that kind of like got me very scared. I think the one thing that I'm the most scared is snakes. I don't like snakes. I see the snake. It's not like I'm gonna be like, ah, but I just don't like them. And I saw this snake, and that's when I was like, oh man, the bad trip is coming. But this snake just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like so big. It was probably like 12 feet, like something unimaginable how big this entity was.
Did you have an awareness that might have been everything you were holding back?
That's what I thought. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna have to fight the fear that I have for snakes. And I was like, I don't want to fight it right now. I'm too vulnerable right now. I don't even want to fight it. But then it was a dragon. It was a huge dragon.
The snake just turned into a dragon?
The snake was the tail.
Oh, shit.
Of something that became a huge dragon. And this dragon was talking to me, but it was not talking. It was more like telepathy kind of deal. Like, I can understand what this thing was telling me, but not like talking. And this dude, or this entity, let's call it, was like, why are you scared? And I was like, because you're a dragon? Like, I never seen this. And he's like, you shouldn't be scared because I'm you. Bro, that changed my life. That right there, that little thing right there was like a flip a switch. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a dragon? Like, what are you talking about? You know, but like, it took months after that for me to like...
You didn't, the thought of what you said, it comes like you have that power within you.
Yes. That's what I felt.
Okay.
That's what this entity, I guess, told me. And you know, like, people are gonna be like, this is crazy. Like, dude, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it's and you know, if people think I'm crazy, that's okay. Like, I don't mind it. Because you know, in a way, I'm already like a little crazy. Just for having PTSD make you crazy. Mm-hmm. So, and I took away whatever people think or say about me and take it hardcore.
Yeah. And
that's why like a stoicism came to me.
After the experience?
Yeah, that was like probably like 2 years ago where I started reading about stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Those are like the teachers.
Yeah, you know that one of the most memorable quotes out of them, I think, I don't know whether it's Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, was that whenever someone does wrong against you, the anger that you're feeling is not coming from them, it's coming from you.
Yes.
I was like, wow. Yes. And I took that to heart because I would always take a lot of things to heart. I take a lot of things that my dad says, my mom says to heart because to me, they are the highest form of authority.
Exactly.
So therefore, out of the respect I have for them, well, Dad, why can't you tell me you're proud of me?
Exactly.
And I would always take that to heart. But the thing is that Stoicism taught me is I have the power to control my own thoughts. Yes. There's already a power within me that he doesn't have. And if he's controlling me, he basically has dominance.
Oh, he dominates you. And that's why basically like Stoicism is the power of self-control and not letting the exterior world affect you, because it's all about like who you are, and you have to learn who you are. And that's why like meditation is such a strong thing to do. Like, okay, I'm a terrible meditator. Like, I'm not saying that, but I try to meditate, where just to like sit in a space where I'm like by myself, try not to think about anything, but also use visualization and creation, you know, while meditating. Or like I'll meditate just because I want to like clear my mind, or I want to meditate because I want to create something, because we are the creators.
Yeah, and Stoicism takes that teaching of like, hey, just imagine yourself in this very, very, very bad situation, but then bringing yourself back to reality, and then see, you should be grateful about the reality you're actually living
right now.
Because you know, setbacks today are relevant across all societies.
Yeah.
It's just that if you do allow it, you can become vulnerable to it. But if you have that frame or that mindset that, hey, this setback is a way or a form of a challenge that the universe brought to me, then I can get past it.
What do you think is the biggest fear of an entrepreneur? Failure is the biggest fear of any entrepreneur. And when you understand the failure, it's not a setback. It's just a teaching lesson. That's all you need. And that's why you need to become so self-aware of like, if I'm going this way and I fail, I just have to take a step back and be like, should I need to keep going, or should I just take another way?
As an entrepreneur, then let me ask you, which one has been the biggest setback in the business? Was it that bad year that you have?
I believe for myself, yes, it was.
Okay.
I believe back then I left my brother alone for a long period of time because, like I say, I couldn't even be at the warehouse for a long time because I was like burnt out. And also at that time was when Facebook Marketplace came in, and we just went all in on Facebook. We were just doing ads every day. So I spent all day replying to text messages with customers. They were always like bargaining or like having conversations with me. So all this conversation, I'm having it in my head. I'm not talking to anybody like me and you talking right now. I'm just like texting to somebody. So it also got to a point where I didn't even want to talk to these people when they came to the store.
Why?
Because I was already burnt out. Like I didn't even want to see people. So it was like a lot of like stress. That's literally what it was. It was like stress. I was just always stressed out, always thinking that something bad was gonna happen. And I say something the other day that if I knew where I was gonna be 5 years ago, I would have never stressed. But I'm stressed out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I knew I was gonna be fine and that my business was gonna prosper, that we were just gonna go up, I would have never stressed for a moment. But I'm stressed right now. I was stressed before this interview or podcast. Like I was like, and that's the thing. I had to learn to live with stressful situation. And I think that's like one of the things that probably, I'm not saying that I'm a successful entrepreneur or nothing like that, but I think it's like the biggest thing that I have for me going is that I can perform under pressure.
Absolutely. And not only that, the experiences that you have and the mindset that you have, that if one day you were to fail again, it's like, I'm going to take a step back and then move forward again.
And that's why, like, I'm telling you, like, stoicism became like one of the biggest principles in my life, because like, example, you can come right now, punch me in the face, and I have two options, right? Or like let it go, give you my other shit like Jesus, or just like, eye for an eye, punch you. But in a stoicism, it's like, it's rationality. Like I have to think like, why did he punch me? Like, did I deserve that? If I deserve it, like I just let it go. Like, okay, I take a punch and, go my way. But if I didn't deserve it, then we're gonna have to have a conversation. Like, why did you punch me? Like, and it's more about self-control. And I needed to learn that through hardship, because I was always letting my feelings take over my emotions, and that's one of the worst things, because like as a man, we get angry. I could tell you, absolutely. We get angry.
And also that protector type of mindset, I don't know if you have it, but it's like if someone does something against my family, then you're following a fine line of like,
yeah, I can lose it all right now.
Exactly.
Like I don't care about going to jail. Like, example, somebody do something with one of my daughters, like, oh, you done. But that's the thing, like I needed to learn that I cannot act up on my emotions. I needed to like have a conscious mind, self-control, and I'm working on it. It's not like I'm all the way over there. I'm just like literally working.
But I think the most important thing is becoming aware that, like, I think that the first step, people aren't even aware that they're becoming angry at non-relevant things. I mean, I see it every day. I saw it yesterday. Road rage. You know how crazy it is here in Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I saw this Nissan following this, like, Altima. Dude, and just because he wanted to catch up to the Altima, he hit another car just for no reason. for no reason. And the car, and when he hit him, he was trying to back up and run away, and the other guy just blocked him. But I'm like,
oh my God,
we allow our feelings to dominate us. Like
yes.
we succumb to them as slaves.
Yes.
And lead our lives like, because I feel this person's gonna get paid. Like, I'm gonna get my payback.
And that's the reason why I'm so against to like when they wanna like put men and women to be the same. It's because of that. Because imagine, first of all, we are not. Like, let me just break it down for you. We are not. Like, you know, we both bring a value to the table. You know, the feminine side and the masculine side.
Yeah.
So if you try to medicate, example, like I said, like, you know, we go to the military and then right away they give you a prescription. If you're trying to medicate or like counseling a woman and you tell her like it's okay to cry, it's okay to, you know, to act on your feelings, that's fine, because it's like you're supposed to. Like, that's like a virtue of a woman, that they have the feeling. It's a nurture feeling.
You know, I was listening to a psychologist, and she was saying that women internalize a lot of their feelings,
yes.
and men externalize all of their feelings.
And that's why I'm saying, if we act on our feelings, we are very dangerous.
Yes.
We are very dangerous, and we shouldn't, because like, imagine if like every time something bad happened, and like I say, anger, because anger is like the top of our thing.
It's very possessive.
It is. And you be like, I'm gonna kill you, but you have to like be like, I shouldn't kill this person, because like I don't want to go to jail, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So that's why I believe they should create a system where, okay, so this person, or example, even like a young kid to like an older man, they should never be counseling the same. You see, like even like that, a teenager with like a 40-year-old, they don't have the same experiences, they don't have the same trauma, example, or they could, but like as a 40-year-old man, you should handle it different than as a teenager,
child, yeah.
You know, so. And that's why when you asked me before, like, how do you think we should like help people with mental health? You should like, man, and that's why I think AI is gonna be like the best thing in the world.
But you know, going back, I think that we're very oblivious as men that we can become man-child.
Oh, 100%.
We could be man-child because
Yeah.
we are so used to the fact of other people protecting us that we never evolve or bloom into becoming a real man. And I know there's a lot of debate on what a real man is. I'm not going to debate that. I'm going to debate the fact that there's a lot of man children.
Yeah, because we're immature.
Yes.
You know how long, like, example, like I have a daughter and they twins, a daughter and a son. And by the age of 13, Maya was so self-aware. She knows everything. She knows all the gossip. She knows everything's going on around. She knows everything. My son Michael, he's in the moon. He don't know nothing. He's just, I'm here, like, whatever. What's the video game? And like he's like, I'm not saying that nothing wrong about him. It's just the difference between awareness. That it take me to be 38 years old to mature, when a woman by 13, 15, 17, they already women.
And you know, and again, back to your point, the highlight is that women are going to always be more aware of their environment.
100%.
And that's their superpower.
It is a superpower.
You know how like, it's like, listen to your wife, not in everything, but yes, listen to your wife, because she can feel the energy, whether that's a bad associate or not.
100%.
You can't know how, but
you don't know.
But it ends up being the truth.
A woman knows when something is bad way before a man knows. Way before. Because their awareness is way better. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I am at 38 years old immature. Because I'm still doing immature stuff.
How do you instruct your children though? Like, I'm curious, like on
a structure. I let them be whatever they want to be. I don't want to like, cause like that's one of the things that I thought that my dad was wrong. He pushes us his agenda.
Pushes you in his agenda how?
So basically, when I went to college, I wanted to become a doctor, just because he was a doctor, not because I wanted to be a doctor.
But he pushed that on you,
or
or
100%. Because
okay.
And I look like my dad too, so it's like I was always for the whole being the lookalike, and I'm the oldest, so his legacy, he wanted it to carry on with me. An example, like my second brother, he became a politician. Why? Because my dad loved politics, and my dad pushed that. And I'm not saying I love you, Dad. I love my dad, but that pushing your agenda into the kids, I think, is the worst. You should let your kids, in a way, to figure out. You can give them guidance. You can give them guidance and try to help them in ways that, whatever you need or whatever you think they need to know. Because I tell my son right now, like I was telling him, like, there's so many ways to make money that you don't even have to go to college. Example.
Yeah.
Like you just have to learn those trades, and you don't even need to go to college. So, but in his mind, because we live in a culture where we have to go to college to become successful.
Yeah, in Hispanic culture, it's like, or at least my dad was always like, hey, like, do you already know what college you're gonna go to? I need a degree for me suffering going through the desert to be worth it.
Yes,
I need a title.
100%. And that I grew up in that life where I needed to become a college grad to be successful. And when you figure out, when you become a college grad,
you're unemployed too the next day.
There's no success there. So I thank God that, in a way, I worked for an entrepreneur before I started my business. And I learned through him. He was one of my first mentors ever. My first mentor was my dad, 100%, right?
Yeah.
So he was like one of the person that I saw and I copied, because I was like, man, how this dude can come to me and tell me, oh, we're gonna make ridiculous amount. Like, he'll tell me some amount of money that I was like, what? No way. And bang, it was coming. And I'm like, dude, this dude didn't even graduate high school. I have way more education than him, and my net worth is like in the basement compared to this dude, right? So when you start seeing other people doing stuff and you close to them, and that's why we are the consequence of the 5 people we hang out the most. Because if you hang out with bums, you're just another bum. But if you hang out with people with vision and value and work ethic, that stick with you. It sticks.
I think about the dangerous place that a lot of people don't necessarily put themselves in, but that's their environment. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, obviously I can't solve the world, but like, how do you solve that? Like, how do you seek out people that you can help?
Help or be help?
No, be help for them is what I'm trying to say.
I found this whole events, like entrepreneur events, real estate events. That's where I found, because like we can go clubbing every night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can go clubbing every night, hang out with the clubs guys, where we just gonna
promoter
pop bottles.
will be in the back in the DJ booth.
And do the hangout and like party all night. And you're just gonna get older, and just how long can you live that lifestyle? But if you go through like events, like I told you, like when I went to Julio and Legacy, you have no idea the amount of people that I met that they needed me, and I had no idea. They needed me, and I was there for them. And that's like, and I think like the best way to find people is when you are useful to them.
Okay.
You need to be the person that they need. Because you can say, oh, I'm going to go to every event and I'm going to try to meet people the right way. But I think people right away figure out that you need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Based on the conversation you're having with them, based off your energy, based off your presentation.
Yeah. And most of these people, let's say, if they are like high value people, like networks or whatever, they don't need, they're not there to like go out and help people,
Yeah, you are right. If someone asked me for my help, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, man, we have busy life. But let's say if you come to me and you're like, hey, man, I'm trying to develop this building or like rehab this house. And I tell you like, hey, listen, like I sell this product and I can find a way better price for you. And just by that, people get drawn to me. It's not because I'm the cool guy or like, no, I bring value. So I think in a way of network, you have to bring value for people to look at you in a way that they need you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And in what way did you bring value to those people that you networked with? And give me a circumstance.
I sell construction material.
Okay.
So most of these people are in need of construction material, or like they are construction workers or developers or architect or investors. And that's what I'm saying. Like when Julio and me started talking, I literally put my heart to the table to him because I like the guy so much. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, when I found out what he was doing, and then for the Hispanic community and like trying to bring value to his people, I was like, dude, whatever you need from me, I'm here. I want to be part of this. And that's why like right away I became a sponsor for them because I needed them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew I could bring value to them. You get it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I try to do this nowadays with anybody that I meet. Like, even like a person that had nothing to do with construction, I'll be like, dude, you need an LLC today. Because like you need to start a business. Oh, but I don't know what to do. No. You don't get it. You need an LLC first. You get an LLC. You get an EIN number from the IRS, you go to a bank, you open a bank account for your business, and then you figure out what to do.
Do people take that advice?
I hope so. Some people does. Like, but if you're close to me, I'll nag you. I'll be on you. Because even to start a business, I think the first thing that you need to do is have a good credit or start working on your credit right away. Because like just by having a good credit, it like a lot of people get money to start the business just by going to a bank and getting a loan or getting a credit card, not through you as a person, as through the business. And then by that, it opened a whole new room of what you can do. But if you don't have any money, you're stuck.
Absolutely. And one thing I found out is that banks want to lend to you.
To businesses. They want to lend to business way more than they want. Example, if I go by myself to Chase and I'll be like, hey Chase, me, Josbel Herrera, need $30,000. They're going to come with so many questions. We need your W-2s, we need your assets, we need your past 2 income tax, all this blah, 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 right? But if my business goes and to Chase and be like, hey, I need $30,000. Chase is like, you're good.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm like 100%. But I'm already have history through that.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another important part, that you have to start creating history. If you're going to ask for money, pay it back on time.
And that's why I'm saying, like, the first thing you need to do is open an LLC. You open an LLC, you figure out as you go. Like, because like some people have an idea of what they want to do, and what's stopping them is money, right? Mm-hmm. And to get an investor is so hard.
Oh yeah.
Because investors have an idea of what they want, and you have an idea of what you want, and sometimes it's totally different. Yeah. And then when you guys start working together, that's when the battle starts. because you want to go that route, they want to go this route, but you're the one that is working. They just like business money, and you should like be good to your investors because they're the one that brought you in business. But most of the time, partnerships don't last for that reason.
Going off of partnerships, you know how they say that doing business with family always ends up bad. How is that not the case with you and your brother?
Man, we fight all the time. It's a natural thing when it comes to business. But who do you think I'm gonna be more truthful in life? A random person or my brother?
Oh, your brother, absolutely.
Who do you think I know is gonna take care of my assets better? A random person or my brother?
Your brother.
So we got to a point where we kind of figure out that we have to do it on our own because me and him are the only one in the U.S. It's just me and him. My parents and all my family's in Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. So we spent at least like 4 years living together. Like we were just roommates for a long period of time, and like I said, it has never been rainbows and butterflies. We fight all the time, but there's no other person I want to have a partnership than my brother.
What brings you guys together though, and what agreement do you guys have placed together that keeps you together, or is it just that brother bond that sustains it?
We are two different people, extremely different people.
In what way?
Like I'm more a little bit extroverted than him. He's more introverted than me, right? Mm-hmm. He's a little bit more responsible than me. I'm a little bit more responsible, right? Like when I say responsible, I mean like I'm more crazy, let's say. Like I'm more like
impulsive.
Yes. Okay.
That's kind of the dynamic me and my brother have. Yes. I'm all over the place. I'm like, look, there's a deal over here. Let's put $100,000 here. He's like, dude, did you even look at this? I was like, oh wait, yeah, you're right.
And like, no, there's so many things that we are different, and I think that makes a better team because like two people alike are not good.
And I like that you brought that point because you're able to see your weaknesses
100%,
but you're also able to use your strength, and then you guys come together. And
focusing on your weakness is a losing game.
Really?
Yeah.
But I also read a book on grit that if you don't focus on your weakness, then you never can get better. It's like people that go to the gym for 5 years. If you just focus on the things you know and don't focus on your weaknesses, then you'll never get better.
That's true. But also, what was the first thing I did when I came back from the Dominican Republic after my mental breakdown? Mm-hmm. I got a secretary. To help us with the stuff because at the time me and my brother were doing everything. We were secretary, salesperson, warehouse workers. We were hot calling, like contacting different companies, and like we were doing everything. And I think that's why I got so burned out. The moment I brought people that helped me with my weakness or the stuff that I didn't want to do, it made me prosper. Because I was not focusing on my lows.
Okay, in a business perspective, I can see how that works.
So I started focusing on what I'm good at.
Yeah, or like high value tasks.
Yes.
And low value tasks, and you pass it on to someone else.
Example, like I'm terrible at accounting. Like I don't want to deal nothing with the IRS. Like I think the IRS are the three words or like letters in the dictionary. So I got me a good CPA. That helped me with that task that I hate and I don't understand it. It's not that I just don't hate it. I do hate it, but I just don't get it. And every year is a new thing in the IRS code thing.
Oh yeah, I think they just changed it like 2 months ago.
Every year, and you can't keep up.
Yeah.
And today, me and my brother, we had a meeting with a business lawyer, and it was amazing. And I told my brother, we were walking out of that meeting, And I was like, man, I feel like Thanos right now. That was the gem that I needed. The final gem. Like, I'm inedible right now.
So, yeah. And you know, you become more secure in your business too whenever 100%. You have people around you saying like, hey, you're doing this right. You're doing this right.
Exactly, yeah. And you just manage it. And it's freedom. I'm not looking anymore for money. When I started, I needed money. Because everybody does. This is a world that is sadly controlled by money and assets. And I figured out as I went, the freedom is what we don't have. We are not free. We're always in this rat race. It no matter if you're an entrepreneur, because I thought, oh, now that I don't work for anybody, I'm out of the rat race. You're always in that rat race because you always need to go for profit. You always need to make money. Because if I don't pay my employees, what are they going to do? They're just going to go to the next job. So I need to make money to provide for them. I need to make money to provide for my family. I need to make money to provide for me. So it's still the rat race. You're always in the rat race where it's like profitability. We need money. We need more money.
But to your point, everyone's in the rat race. But... the family members that you guys essentially outperformed, do they criticize you? Do they support you guys? Your family, like your outside your family, your tios, your tias. Do you have that issue within your circle?
Well, I hope they support me. If they don't, that's their fault. Because I try to be a good family. You know, like if anybody needs my help, I try to help as much as I can. But you're always going to have those haters within the structure at all time. And that's why I go back to stoicism. It's like, well, like, I don't care if you don't like me. I can care less. Because I know for sure if you call me right now and you say you need my help, I'm going to help you. And you know that. They know that. My family, like, all my aunties, toda la tía, los tíos, they know that I'm a provider. Because and it comes back to be the older brother that take the responsibilities over the family. And so many times I'll be thinking about like, man, I should not be worried about what my brother did or what my brother's doing. But I take it to the heart.
I don't think that you'll ever get over it. Because
I don't think so neither. Like at this age, I don't think I will. Like my brother, he went to... like he had like a politics event in February, and man, I took it for myself. I went down there and I was just like at it. Like I was there, like, and I wanted him to know that I was there for him, and no regrets.
And moving forward as a businessman, how do you manage your family time? Because sometimes the business... You know how they say, like, work-life balance? Do you have an issue balancing everything right now still? Like, I mean, you're trying to prosper, so that's also still going to take your energy to try to grow it. But then how do you balance it with your kids or your family time?
That's the reason why I say I'm not focused on the money anymore. I'm focused on the freedom. Because if I have freedom, I'm free to do whatever I want when I want it. So let's say if my kids need me for anything, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to try to be there for them. Same like I told you with my brother or my mom and my dad. And I'm talking about the nucleus of like just mom, dad, me, my brothers, and my kids. Like not the outside. Yeah. So I try to take time for them as much as I can. And yeah, like I'm just keep buying my freedom. I think it should be the goal of everybody, and I know it's very hard.
It's hard because the 9 to 5 can be very consuming.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, I mean, I'm not always necessarily surrounded by entrepreneurs, and then I do hear that talk about like, oh, that check's about to come in, and I'm just like, okay, like because there's a sense of security in having a job. So I think 100%. I think that's valid. That's a valid reason to stay. But I don't think everybody's made to be an entrepreneur either.
No.
Because just like you were saying at the start of this episode, you're like, you have this itch or you don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
it's just something that you're never gonna stop feeling.
And there is a theme, there is a philosophy, Japanese philosophy named Ikigai. That's what they go for. So the Ikigai is like you should find your passion, turn into your purpose, and make money out of it. So you should find what you think is your passion and make it your purpose, right? Like passion and purpose. Like, okay, I'm loving this. I wake up this morning loving what I'm about to do. And I think that's what I'm working on right now, because I don't find no passion on selling construction material.
Okay.
It's all for profit.
So the goal is to get to fund a passion?
Yes. Find the passion, make it a purpose, and try to make money out of it.
But
what you doing, brother? Like, you think this is a new thing? You know, like 20 years ago, this never existed.
You know, I think that I wanted to bring a sense of like genuineness, because a lot of podcasts are composed of just the ridiculousness that I don't necessarily. Sure, I want to hear it sometimes.
Yeah.
But imagine me trying to be a clown.
Yeah.
For screens, and I'm not necessarily a clown in my day to day. It'd be such a like a disorder in my mindset of like, oh shit, I have to be funny for the screens.
Exactly.
When I'm not necessarily like.
Well, you need to be yourself, and you can find funny people that come here and clown themselves, and you just like understand why they are like that. Just like how you're trying to understand how I am.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And you know, and that's like what worries me about social media, is because like you probably know this, in China, TikTok is for smart people. Like, they want you to become an engineer, they want you to become an astronaut, they want you to become like something good. That's what the algorithm over there push.
Towards the kids, yeah.
In here, they want you to dance. And I think that's so terrible that we are controlled by, how you call it? Like, you controlled by, how you say that? You are controlled by, man, se me fue.
Good, like corporations, technology.
No, you controlled by como sentirte bien, como like having fun, like
the dopamine effect.
Yeah, the dopamine, exactly. So like they just trying to control you by the what makes you feel good, but like, you know, it's like me. Like, sometimes I don't want to be looking at girls, like big booty girls, example, on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But let's say a friend sent me a picture with a big booty girl. I go to my Explorer page, and that's all I find right now.
That's why I cut off social media, because I just can't. I just can't.
Like, I want to learn other things. Like, I want to be focused on the goods. But then the algorithm for us down here is so quick to make us dumb.
But you know, the thing is that we've searched for freedom for such a long time, and now that we have it, we get to choose. So we are the consequences of our choices. Because I don't want to excuse the kids. Mm-hmm. Like, the kids are going to be kids. But I'm just saying, young adults that still complain on like social media is taking over my life or that. Mm-hmm. I think that's a choice. At the end of the day, that's a choice.
I got the word that I forgot before. It's
okay.
Entertainment.
Okay.
We are entertained here. We are not looking for how to become a high value businessman, how to set up an LLC, like I told you, like how to become an engineer, how to anything of value. There's no value in social media anymore. It's all about show me your booty, show me your dancing, and boys, we are in a dystopian video game world that we only focus on video games, and you know how like that's gonna affect us in 20-30 years.
Well, I think it already is.
It is. But think about in 20 years. Because you millennial, or are you Gen Z?
Gen Z. Gen Z is what?
96 and above.
Oh, 96. Yeah, I'm Gen Z.
How old are you?
26.
Okay. So you Gen Z. So I'm a millennial. So I was there before the internet. Like I grew up without an internet, like without a cell phone, without none of that, right?
Yeah.
So by the time I was like probably like 12, that's when I had my first computer. And I thank God.
It was like a big box too,
yeah,
right?
it was huge. And I had to thank God that my parents were able to buy us a computer, and we learned how to do Excel, PowerPoint, when nobody knew, right?
Yeah.
And I think I always tell my mom that I'm thankful for her to buy us a computer and put me in English class, because that's all I needed. All the education stuff, I didn't need it. All I needed was to know how to do Excel and speak English. Because in all reality, with that, you can learn anything.
But then why do you say AI is going to be a benefit to our society?
Oh, it's a double-edged sword.
It is because I don't think there's real solutions to the world. There's only consequences.
No, there's no solution. And that's that and I'm going back to I don't want to be a stoicism all the way, but that's why I think stoicism for me is such a helpful way, because like after you figure out that the whole world is messed up and you cannot fix it, what do?
Well, you start making choices for yourself.
You have to figure out how you can save yourself and save the people around you. You cannot save the world. The world's already messed up big time. And now with the AI, and I've been thinking about that we live in a simulation for a long time already. I believe we live in a simulation.
You know how you said that if you said, like, because of your ayahuasca trip, and you said that if you say to someone else that also took the trip, like, hey, I saw a monkey with a banana, they'll have the same thought. The other day, I don't know why this thought came to me, but I think sometimes I have these blackout faces just in the middle of my office, and I'm like, what if we're just a single interconnected brain, and us as being humans, we always feed back to, or are feeding from the same source. Of brain power. Yes. That's why we all have very similar.
Yes.
And then we all have that same capacity. Like, sure, that guy is smarter than me, but why is that guy smarter than me?
Yeah.
Because he took the time
resources
to develop.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, so.
And that's why do you ever watch The Matrix?
Yeah.
So it's all about choice. And I have like what I'm trying to understand, do we live in a world that repeat itself? So like I'm part of a other life that I was reborn,
reincarnation,
right? Recreation, or are we living in a multiverse where, let's say, instead of me coming today to your podcast, I ought to go somewhere else? So like there's another version of me going somewhere else. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went too deep?
No. The multiverse.
Yes. I believe in both theories, or both theories can be alike, or they can both be true. Because like every single religion, every single one talk about afterlife. And the one that talk the most about like relieving is the Buddhists, because like there's a karmic law, like the karma, or they call it karma, like
what you do bad you're gonna owe, and what you do good,
it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah,
what you do. So that's the cause and effect. I believe in the seven laws of the universe. Do you know about the 7 laws of the universe?
No, now you're going deeper, but please go ahead.
So the first one is mentalism. Everything is mental. Everything is in the mind. We create in our mind. Believe it or not, it is like that. Everything,
and if it is a simulation, you can.
We create it. Everything that you see here in this place was created. Somebody came up with the idea first and did it. That's why we have a microphone here. That's why we have a camera here. Can you make a camera?
Yeah. Well, not me, but a thought made it.
Exactly. No, but you can't.
Oh, I can't.
I cannot make a camera. Yeah. But someone had the idea, and you know how hard. And these cameras nowadays are so badass.
Oh yeah, this is a cheaper one.
It's the evolution of the first camera that was like a big light bulb that poof, and you blow, and you know, like you have the black and white picture, and everything is an evolution. So the reason why I think it's a simulation is because everything is perfect. Everything is perfect.
But then that gives relevance to why there is also a God, because
there is a God, there's a creator, there's a source, there's a power, there's a power shift. You know, it has to be. And that's what I'm saying. Like with the AI, we're gonna be way more easily controlled, and that's when the simulation is gonna take place for real. Because we're not gonna be free. Even
now, it's hard to depict how. The reality of pictures versus a fake, like a real one.
Yeah, like have you ever heard like the Donald Trump voice where they can just make some random stuff that he's saying? All
the consequences of that are unlimited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fake news.
Because if it's gonna say, "Oh, today I'm gonna launch and press the red button to nuke everyone,"
and I'm gonna kill Russia, example, and then the Russians hear that first. Like, oh man, they're coming for us. We have to send them first. And that's why when I told you the AI is gonna be a double-edged sword, it's because it's gonna be those people that learn it easy. You know, the early adapters are gonna become wealthy. It's gonna be so easy to make money with AI, and then you're gonna have these people that never take the time to learn it, and they're gonna end up with no jobs in the next 20, 30 years.
But you know, I mean, to be hopeful, that's what they used to say 40, 50 years ago when like new technology started emerging. And it's like, you know how before you had a room full of architects that used to have to make 150 examples.
Yeah.
Now one computer does that, you know, like, I mean, I think there's going to be new jobs, just that the depiction of reality versus an illusion is just going to be much harder to distinguish for the human brain, because these advances are going so fast that I tell you that I was even scared a few years back, because I was like, okay, I bought a $2,000 laptop, but come to find out a month later, another even faster one came out.
Yes.
Like, how fast are you going?
And that's why we are slaves. Don't you think that by the time the iPhone 5 came out, they didn't know the iPhone 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? But they have to feed us one by one because they need to be profitable. If they come with the iPhone 5 and then they come with the iPhone 15, you have all this technology. Do you think that Apple just made this technology? You remember when you had to put the fingerprint first? And then it came like the face?
Yeah.
Don't you think that they already had all that in store? They did. But they need to feed us little by little. And that's why I believe they control the simulation. Not Apple itself, but the big corporation. Because there's so much technology already in store that we have no idea about it.
But that double-edged sword, you know, it is kind of worrisome, because it's like the people that decide not to take it are going to be there's going to be consequences, and the people that do, there's also going to be consequences. Like it's hard to find a balance between that, because I kind of feel bad, you know, like how old people don't even know how to control a phone.
Yes.
Like, they don't know how to get into their bank account.
They don't know.
And it's hard enough already that they can't move or can't talk very loud. So it's like, and we get frustrated as younger people, like, why the fuck can't you?
You don't know,
Well,
When my mom take picture, I'm sorry, Mom. She take picture, and I'm like, Mom, like, stop moving the phone so much, you know? Like, and I read an article the other day that say that the same thing, the 10, 20 years, the high paying jobs are going to be plumbers and electricians.
Still?
Because those are the things that AI cannot do yet.
Yeah.
But all this, like lawyers, doctors, accountant, software developers, coding, all this stuff that AI can do way better than any human. Like, will you believe a doctor that's gonna look at your record and tell you what he might think you have, or you're gonna put all your blood tests, your urine tests, your hair, whatever, your blood test in a machine, and that machine can tell you exactly what you have. Who you believe?
The computer?
The computer.
But that's dangerous too, because the computer can also misconstrue the results. It could take a hair follicle. They can manipulate it.
Yeah, they can manipulate it. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, if I didn't have kids, I would prefer to live in the mountains, homesteading, raising chicken, farming potatoes, and just like...
But can't you still do that? Can't you decide
I can't. I have too much responsibility. Like, I had too much... Like, that's what I'm saying. That's the older brother syndrome, let's call it.
But I have a plan to put my whole family on a farm one day.
And you have to work for that.
Yes.
You have to work for that. And that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Even my children, because, we overlook the fact that farmers are one of the, what's it called? They are like the bees of nature.
Yeah.
We need them.
Do you know how to farm?
Well, I know how to grow a few things just because of my brother. My dad, I'm sorry.
That's a lost thing. Like, most people don't know how to grow anything. Most people don't know. And that's like 100 years ago. How do you think people feed themselves? Like, if I go to my grandma's house right now, they have plátanos in the backyard. They have a squash. They have beans. They have all chicken. So, like, let's say things go bad, they're gonna eat for a little bit before like they die. Because let's say if it's an apocalypse and we all die, right? Yeah. But the people that have the resources that can go under the ground, I don't know if you've seen it. Because I'm big into conspiracy theory. Like, that's one thing that the military left in me as well.
Really?
Because
why?
Because I saw so many lies
in the military.
Oh, bro, terrible.
Well, I mean, I think most of us are aware that to gain a political power,
but nowadays
politicians are going to manipulate all the information.
Nowadays, everybody's into conspiracy theory. I'm talking about, I was conspiracy theory when like it was not cool to be into conspiracy theory. Okay. Because like I left the military in 2014.
Oh yeah, today a lot of more people are willing to put it out.
They are aware.
And we also have the platform.
Yeah, and you go on YouTube and you spend 3 hours watching conspiracy theory and you become an expert.
Yeah.
But I remember I was like in a base at the south of Iraq and we have to go to Baghdad, and it was like a 20-hour trip.
In a car?
In a convoy.
Okay.
And we were getting attacked left and right all the time, right? So, and there's 2 ways to go to Baghdad where I was from, right? So at the beginning when I got there, they were like, oh, we're going in this route because the people that live here are our enemies and they bad people, blah, 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 blah. These people, we have a treaty. We good with them, right? Couple months later, the whole thing changed. So now we have to go through this path because these people are our friend. We have a treaty with them. Now these people are the bad one. But at the same time, these people and these people were fighting each other. And we were arming them, the both of them, to kill each other. So when you see things like that, that's how you become a conspiracy theory.
Wow.
That's how you get messed up in the head.
Heck.
And
that was at a very small scale.
Very small. And then when I came back, I think in 2013, this dude named Snowden, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one, he used to work for the NSA, and he figured out like why the government was like spying on Americans, because the NSA is supposed to spy on our enemies. We're supposed to like be out there seeing like what Russia's doing, what North Korea is doing, what China's doing, what everybody else is doing. But then he was like, why are we spying on our own people? And then he came out and it was the time of Obama administration, and they call him
he committed treason.
Yeah, he committed treason and he had to flee. Like I think he's in Russia right now. So like now we see him as the enemy, but he literally told us like, hey guys, they are spying on you. So,
Yeah.
So nowadays, you do you know that your phone is listening to you?
Oh yeah.
So for us now, it's normal. You see? For us now, you know the Facebook is listening to this conversation.
We make memes, jokes about it.
You know that Google is listening to our conversation. You know Apple is listening to conversation. You know Amazon is listening to us. And we don't care. Back then, we supposed to care about that because why are you listening to me? But now they use it to advertise against us. So you see, it's and that's why like for a long period of time, I went like, man, what is true and what is not?
You could descend into depths that you might not be able to come from. It's hard. It's hard because
and when you learn that they can manipulate the information and tell you what they want you to hear, just like what happened with our last little epidemic.
Oh, the epidemic, yeah, the COVID.
I don't want your video to get flagged. Don't flag us.
No, but I have no issue with that. We're quick to believe and not question enough of things,
and that's my biggest problem. I question everything,
and that's good. I think that's a lesson that just in today's world should be adapted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because advertising tactics have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
There's this thing called anchoring that a marketing company does. It's like this experiment that they did. They did it with these subjects. It's like they put them in a room and they asked them, did Gandhi die before he was 18 or after he was 18? And at what age do you think Gandhi died? Well, the subject said 30. Mm-hmm. Let's just put an example, 30, right? And then they asked another group, did Gandhi die before 148 years old or after 148 years old? And then they had to give an answer on what age did they think he died. They said 80, for example. And because of the question that they proposed, influenced them on the answer they gave. Yes. Gandhi died at 78, but they give ridiculous extremes like, did Gandhi die after 148?
That's impossible.
That's impossible, right?
Yeah.
But little things like this, we're oblivious to them and just unaware that we become easily manipulated, easily influenced to believe it's right. Like COVID, they made it out to
that we're all gonna die.
That we all had to stay inside.
Fear.
And depression increased monumentally.
Incredible.
Because they set us inside when actually the best thing is to touch grass, to ground yourself.
Imagine all those kids that were like very, very young and they had to spend a whole year inside the house. Imagine that. Imagine the cost that's gonna create an effect in the future.
Or just like your example, imagine you are a PTSD survivor, and then you're subjected to being inside. How much worse that is gonna get? Yeah, and the only interaction I get is through Zoom.
Yeah, that was terrible.
It's gonna sound harsh, but I'd shoot myself. It's hard. It's tough because it's a mental jail you don't get out of.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. Like by 2019, I always thought there's something bad. I'm not gonna say I predicted because I thought it was gonna be an attack on us. I thought like Russia was gonna bomb us or China. No, I swear to God. And I sometimes I think about this stuff and I'm like, God, why am I having these thoughts?
Yeah.
But I really thought that by 2020 we were gonna get like attacked and surprise. It was an epidemic, and to me it was so random because the amount of fear that I saw, and I even felt it.
I honestly, I was like, they're gonna close down schools. This is insane.
It was.
And you know how people, I've seen memes that like COVID was like a flash. I honestly,
no,
it was kind of like a blackout phase
Yeah.
of like, wait, what just happened?
You know when I find out it was all bull
When
shit? When my
you can curse.
Oh, I can curse? It was bullshit. When my accountant called me and she was like, oh, you guys, we closed for like 2 weeks. And we didn't even close really. Like we were like closed by, you know, if customer called us, we were like, hey, just come and we, you know,
We'll load you up.
Yeah, we'll take care of you. But, you know, with the fear that we were going to get locked up, but my accountant 2 weeks after told me that we could be open because we were essential business. And I was like, what? Like a construction material warehouse is an essential business? And guess what happened in Charlotte the whole year?
What?
Growth. They built the whole time. Everywhere else was closed. Charlotte never stopped building. It was always building. They closed the classes, schools. They closed everything. Restaurants, clubs.
They wiped out small businesses.
They wiped out small business, and construction never stopped. All those buildings that they raised in that time, they went up
faster even because there was no traffic, no people,
nothing. They were just building. And I remember telling my brother, I was like, man, like, because we were always going out. We like Charlotte because of that. The lifestyle here is amazing. We have like amazing restaurants, amazing nightlife. And spending all those days locked up, it was like, man, like, what are they doing to us? But we were working. That at least we were making a living.
Yes, you know? Yeah.
But the year went not that good, but we were not bad.
Man, and it's so crazy how much fear can influence a whole population.
Fear is the whole thing,
or even worldwide. We're going to have to cut it short because my cameras heat up after a certain time.
No, don't worry.
But Josbel, thank you for coming on the podcast. I think we
might have to do another one. We jumped too much.
We have to do another one. But this is what it's all about. I think I really enjoyed it because I like the stoic perspective, but as well as like questioning your own reality on what it is. I like to end it off with like a little message. What's a message you would have told your younger self?
To believe in myself. To know that it doesn't matter if things look bad, just go for it. And perseverance. I think every entrepreneur needs to have that mindset where failure is just another lesson that you need to learn. And there's no failure.
I truly appreciate it, and we have to do it again. We have to run it because we went a whole bunch of tangents.
We went into another side.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was fun. I liked it.
Guys, if you stayed this long, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment underneath if you enjoyed the episode, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as it does help the channel grow. Just we'll see you here on another episode. Guys, catch you guys on the next one.